Hey yo YouTube, I am here to continue talking about my D&D game. We start this session off where we left off, where we were deciding when to go through the door. At the end of the day, we end up deciding to wait the next day. Uh, we end up inviting the slaves and the gladiators that we freed to come to the New Laran Confederation with us, along with the Notwimic Damaris. Um, they agree because they pretty much say since they're freed slaves to a point, they would be criminals in these lands and stuff. Uh, but I think they end up saying that they would like move on eventually once when they get there. I do know Nina ends up trying to fully convert Ivan into becoming a cohort, where she drops the spell and like does like an influence on him. Like it goes pretty smoothly. Him kind of he's kind of like a simple mind dog folk, so it didn't seem very hard to persuade. But then after that, she goes down and does a charm spell on the wolf character that she knocked out last game, and because the player wherever they got Ivan Doggo, they jokingly said they wanted a black dog named Apollo Breed. And it was funny whenever they said it as a joke, but now that they're actually doing it, I don't find it that humorous anymore. Um, uh, I actually hope that the DM doesn't let it work, and whenever he drops the char spell, the wolf ends up attacking him. We'll see. But nothing much happens besides that. Eventually, the next morning, we go through the door, travel a little ways, find the door that goes to the New Laran Confederation. Immediately go talk to the wise ones, give them a rundown of what happened as part of the mission, introduce the new Wemmicks. They do and tell us that they're gonna assign us this lady named Arabelle from the Sister of the Wise. Um, if we need stuff to have direct confirmation with her, communication with her, and eventually we'll meet Brother Bennett through the from the Brotherhoods of Knowledge. Um, the full moon's that night, so Onyx is waiting around to do the gathering that night. Um, whenever he gets to it, no, we do go to town. Like we do take the Wemmicks that we introduce. Like I take them to the armory, see if they like that type of stuff. The older the older Wemmick, who's a winemaker, we take him to the Last Battle, which is a famous bar in Ganesh City, that makes this halfling wine that's like a mead wine. So I show him that, and like I said, and so I go to the gathering that night. Typical gathering. The clans say, for the most part, they say the typical stuff for the prides. Talk about new warriors, talk about new apprentices, say praise running well. Blood Clan does say like they've been able to grow in their population because they found whenever they split, some people came back that who became loners, stuff like that. I want to say the next day we take the Wemmicks that we just brought back to Fort Tar, where the structure is, to show them the structure, because since they're non-believers of Star Pride, it'll convince them more if they actually see it. Uh, Show it to them. They seem fairly impressed. We do get caught up with the Wemmicks that we brought on the other missions. And then that night, whenever we go to sleep, we end up dreamwalking. And we wake up in like a neighborhood. There we end up seeing Admiral. Oh no, we're in a neighborhood. We're in front of a house in a modern day neighborhood, and we see Admiral and the younger version of Armor Ready, and I want to say shortly after that we see like a group of like loner cats like appear or walk up on the bushes or the trees in front of us, and like Admiral reacts. Eventually, we start seeing other groups of cats walk into the frame. Whenever he sees them, he's like, "Oh, Thunder Clan," and then he's like, "River Clan." I want to say it's River Clan and then Thunder Clan, and eventually he's like Shadow Clan, and Onyx is kind of like Shadow Clan because he's part of Shadow Pride in his world. Um, and then we actually see a group from like another group come up, and it ends up being Blood Clan. But Admiral ends up telling me that inside that house is an ancient enemy of cats, and whether or not they know of Star Clan or not, they know that they instinctively know that this thing is their enemy. He says that this is nothing to do with our mission. If we ignore it, it will change nothing. But he deeply asks that we help. And he also says that this would be the only ones, only the main group and Kotaku are the only ones that show up here in the Dreamwalk. Apollo and Ivan don't appear here, and she tells us that it'll be best if Onyx Scar and Kotaku use their claws. And I already kind of put stuff together before that, mostly like the bunch of cats in front of a house. But when he said the claws thing, it was like, all right, now I 100% know what's about to happen, and I see what's coming. I even say it to the rest of the the rest of the players. Um, so it kind of takes us a while to decide what to do next, because like Rollright wants to barricade the house and just burn it down, um, and I can't remember what Nina exactly wants to do, uh, and I think I'm just unsure about just jumping in together or just bursting into the house. I consider all the things because we tend not to do raw rights ideas. So I tried to really see if it was feasible. In the end, we kind of do a mixture of the thing where like Nina breaks a window and sticks her hand in and starts shooting fireballs. I break another window when I'm looking through, and I see something like spraying it. So I'm like, they're counterspelling it. And she ends up like shooting like three of them. And I'm like, it's not doing anything. Eventually, I just say, I jump through the window. And it kind of seemed like that's what the DM wanted. Because he's like, all right, roll initiative. Uh, so I jump through the window and I end up seeing, like, I land on a couch. And I see, like, again, like the monster in Cat's Eye, the troll. And or there's like two or three of them. And it's holding a fire hydrant or a fire extinguisher, and it drops it when it sees me. I end up charging him, and I try to power attack with my claw. He has a 24 AC. Since I try to power attack, I end up missing. Rawright comes in through the window with me. Kotaku and Nina go through the door and end up going through a hallway. Um, Eventually, like I expected, like skinless cat-looking creature, human biped, ends up attacking me. Pretty much, it's the monsters in a Sleepwalker. Um, I start swinging at him with my claws, um, but it ends up having like a 26 AC, and I just can't hit him at all. I mean, I could get like one hit in a round, but I'm doing a 1d6, and it's doing nothing compared to usual. And so I got him and the troll on me like almost the whole fight. Like I wish I would have took the troll out first instead of waiting the whole time. And me and Rawright are just on the Sleepwalker. Uh, Kotaku and Nina, once when they turn the corner, eventually they get attacked also. I want to say it might have been a couple trolls, but I know at least a troll and another one of the sleepwalkers. And Kotaku's base attack is so high, he does not have a problem. He's just ripping this thing apart. And like I guess he's got some kind of multi attack, or if he hits both of them, he gets another one. I know at one point it tries to grab her, and Kotaku ends up grabbing it, and like again, his base attack is so high, like it stands no chance of breaking out of it. Eventually, like around third round, since I'm getting very little hits in, I say fuck it, I switch to my halberd, and now I'm getting hits and I'm doing decent damage, but it's getting because like anything that isn't the claws, it's kind of absorbing. Eventually, I wear him down. Drop the sleepwalker I'm fighting. End up attacking the troll. End up doing all three hits. One of them being a crit and just like destroy him. And I'm rolling bad the whole time too. I want to say Kotaku is the one who gets the last hit. I don't think we did. Oh, how do you want to do this? Um, so after that, we kind of loot the place and stuff, or the other party members do. We leave the building, and like the cats start to scatter and disappear. Um, and like out of the bushes, we see like this elf pop, this like ranger-looking elf with like silver hair and silver eyes, and he appears not to be able to see us. A female that looks similar to him jumps out too. They start looking in the house. They communicate between each other. I want to say the female calls him Huddle. Um, Eventually, they start running off. Admiral tells us that, or it might be Armor Ready, that if we want to find an exit, we have to follow them. So we follow their track. Eventually, they end up leading us to the map where we met Armor Ready and Admiral. And pretty much we run up to the same spot where the teleporter was, where we met Armor Ready. And that's where the DM leaves it off. Um, Future predictions, I know that Nina's player is not going to be here till late, is going to show up late, and Raw Rice player is not going to be here all tonight because that's when we play. The DM said he'll do a few things with me when we start. Uh, get my experience caught up from when I died because I'm still like 700 down. What he's going to do with that, I have no idea. Maybe put me in the gladiator pit, or I'll go into a further dream walk. We'll see. You want to know the rest of the story, watch my next video. You want to know the whole story, watch all my videos, and check you later.